Hello guys, my name is Angel and welcome back to Dev++. Today's episode we're going to be talking about building a JSON REST API with Go and Gin, part 3. Today we're going to be connecting to MySQL, so let's jump right in. What we're going to be doing today, we're going to be continuing our previous project, the one that we're building with Go and Gin, right? We're going to be connecting to MySQL, reading the connection stream from an environment variable. I'm going to show you how to do that with a .env file. Connecting to MySQL using a middleware, and changing our endpoints, the task endpoints that we did for reading, creating, updating, and deleting tasks to using a MySQL, database. What we're not going to be doing today, data validation, user authentication, deployment, that's going to be covered in further videos. We're going to take probably like 40 minutes. So let's hit it. All right. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open my code editor, Visual Studio for Go. I'm going to open my terminal. Gonna go to my Go Gin installation, right? Okay, first thing first. So we're gonna be connecting to a database that I created in this platform called PlanetScale. It's a pretty easy to use serverless or cloud environment for databases. I'm gonna be using the free tier, so and I'm gonna shoot to delete this once we're done. It's because I'm gonna show the credentials for connecting to the database. I created a small table here, task table. It's gonna have an ID for auto-incrementing, numbers for using as a primary key, a name, description, and I completed at daytime. So that's that, right? So I got my database here. I'm gonna click the connect just to copy the string, the connector. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in a .env file. So if this is the first time that you hear about a .env file, this is basically wait. Okay, so just because I saw this already, let me generate a new password, right? Okay, so for you guys that are not familiarized with the .env file, it's basically where you hide your secrets and password. That way you don't have to hard code it in the code, right? And basically we're going to use a library for being able to read those .env file. Usually the .env is a standard, a convention, better said. You can put like whatever name you want on a file, and you still a library to read that file and load the environment variables, right? So let's do that first. Okay, so this is the first. All right. So here we have our old Go application with our web services with our endpoints, reading and adding tasks from a list of tasks that we have here. So I'm going to change that a little bit, right? So first thing we're gonna install the library for the reading the env file. This is a .env library. We're just gonna go get it. This command, we're just gonna go get it. I'm just gonna read this file from here. Just gonna read this at the beginning of the, I'm gonna put a comment here. Loading environment variables. See if an error syntax. Oh, we have to put this inside of a function. So we go to main here. Got .env. We just import this log. We probably want to use the fmt print line, right? So first thing first, then we're gonna see if we were able to read the environment variable called dsn os.get.env dsn, right? We print that. So let's do a go run. Yeah, we have here the variable, we're reading the variable correctly, right? Second thing, we're gonna try the connection to the database, to MySQL specifically, right? We're gonna use the driver called Go SQL. It's pretty much the standard driver for MySQL on Go. This is pretty much here in GitHub. I'm just gonna install this, and I'm just gonna copy and paste that connection parameters, the default connection, just to test this. Then we're gonna move that to Middleware. So, right, so we copy and paste this, right? This we import for a library. This is gonna be our connection string or DS data source name, right? Pretty much it. If we have an error, panic. If we don't, okay. Okay, let's see if it works. Run. On null driver, all right. On null driver MySQL, we just need to import the driver explicitly. Right here. Import the driver, and now should be good. Should be working. Perfect. If it doesn't throw any error, it should be connected, right? So now we have a way of reading the connection string, and we have a way of connecting to our actual database, right? So what do we want to do? What we want to do is now include basically just connect to MySQL whenever we're going to do an operation, and then just either insert, read, or do whatever we want with the task table that I already created, right? So let me see if I can put this into a function easily. Let me see. We can extract this. Let me see if we can get this done. Let's call this MySQL Connect. Right. This we're gonna keep it here. This we don't need it, and we're just gonna move this here. Call this MySQL Connect, and return SQL. So I believe that we have to we return a connection, right? Which is the one that we're gonna use for making our request. Let me see. Here's SQL DB. Can I use DB variable? Okay. DB. Reference to a connection. Perfect. We have the connection now. So what we're gonna do is start rewriting all our queries and our handlers. Let's start with the create task. Right. So now that we have a task completed, so instead of us putting inside the task array, let's gonna store that into the database. We're just gonna go ahead, find the example from Go MySQL, the insert is using the prepare statement. I think that we can do it without the prepare statement. Okay, let's do it with the prepare statement. Okay, so first that we're gonna do, we're gonna acquire the connection. Let me move this function to the top, right? I have a rule of not use before define. So we're gonna put here db equals define and equal MySQL connect, right? What I'm gonna do is defer db dot close, right? Just to execute that at the end of the function call. Next, okay, so we're just gonna copy the statement, the prepare statement, right? We do a prepare statement that the name of the table is task. So into task, it's gonna be 3 parameters: ID, name, description. Completed that is gonna be null for now. So we're just gonna do this, right? This is in case that we receive an error preparing this statement. It's gonna validate that the statement is valid. This is the defer for closing the statement at the end of the call. And we just gonna do this. So we get the task, we bind the task, we print an error if there is an error binding. I think we need this here. If everything goes well, we do the insertion here. So first value, which is the ID, I want it to be nil because it's the auto increment, right? If we send a null value, it's just gonna put the next available value. Name is gonna be new task dot name, new task dot description, and nil for the completed add, right? Remember, if you remember correctly, our table, let me see if we get here, we get it here. Oh, I can't get the previous statement, but our table looks like this, right? The ID, the name, description, and the completed add timestamp. We're also gonna put a nil there. And then we're simply gonna, return everything went well. Let's see if this is a row, this is a result. Let's see if we want something with it. Print line, let's see what this has here. Result. Let's see, whatever we got here. Undeclare name, result. Just declare and assign result. Okay, perfect. Let's see if this works before we do something else. So let me start again the server. I'm gonna open my Insomnia client. Okay, 8080, yep. So let's start with the post, right? If we post something, it says that everything went well. I print the value here. It's just gonna be a pointer, right? Probably the result of the insertion. But for now, we're not gonna use. Let's leave it like that for now, right? Let's go with the read task web service, right? Same thing. I'm gonna connect, and I'm gonna defer the close of the connection, right? Ideally in different frameworks or languages too, depending the implementation. Usually don't want to connect in every request. You want to reuse connections as much as possible, right? I believe that for the implementation of this driver, if you connect with the same connection string or DSN, data source name, he just looks into memory if he's already connected to reuse a connection. So he does that automatically without you having to deal with connection pools. You just have to set it up in the configuration, right? Some settings for the pool, and he reuses the connection, right? We'll either way call that close, just in case, right? So right now here, we're gonna read the task. I'm just gonna also fetch that example for selecting here. Let me see this query, right? We go here, paste the query. So we're gonna do select ID, name, description, and completed at from task. All right, let's say order by ID descendant, just to have that. So same error management, right? If error is different than nil, we just abort this, print line error, right? And just return an error here. Let's do this. Probably we need to do the same thing for the prepare statement, right? I'm just gonna remove this panic. We don't need it to be panic. We're just using the standard FML, right? Bad request, return. Here's the same. If we are not able to select, we just return bad request. See here, error executing the query. We're just gonna test that error in a few seconds just to give you that, right? For the rows, okay, similar thing, right? Rows, error, columns, right? It's gonna be call this column names. Print line, cn column names. Just to check out the columns, right? And the way that this work, right? Again, we just print an array of rows, right? Remember, every request, whether we do it with Mongo, MySQL, or printing out a database, it returns a cursor, right? Basically, cursor is just a pointer of reading results from a database. Just because it's not efficient just to pull everything at once, is something that is usually not done normally, right? So as this is a little bit complex, I'm just gonna copy and paste all this just to show you, step by step what it means. The basic reading of results of a results data set, right? This could be resumed or this could be done in a single function. It's just, this is kind of like the first time that we do this, so this is the full explanation. But this could be put in a function that you just use and pass a connection, the result. He just returns like an array for the results, right? Or just simply returns like an array of tasks or structs that you created for holding that data type. Let's go through that, right? So first of all, we create a list or a slice of the column names just to get that size of all the available columns. Then the second thing that we're gonna do is we pick the values for the query, the value that returns the query, right? And then we do basically a population of all the positions on that new slice, on that new array. So basically this is pre-filling like the first row of the array where we're gonna put the results, right? So we do a for loop. This next calls like the next row that is on the cursor, right? We use this special function that is called scan. Basically, you send the arguments, which are the column names, and then he's gonna just return, all the rows. He's gonna put the rows where they're supposed to be, right? We do the range. We do a validation, just to replace the nil value with the null special string, and then we're just gonna print this column names and the value for the column, right? So let's do that now to see how it looks like. We save here, we save. We run this, we go to the Insomnia client, we just store another couple of data of tasks, and then we read it, right? So it says unknown column description in field list. Description, maybe I did a typo. Let's see. We're printing the column names. Let's switch this to star, just to bring all the columns without a name. I prefer to use the name, but let's see what's the error here. Okay, so all right, I had a typo when I created a table. So let's do something. Let's drop the table. Drop table just because that's ugly. Task. And I'm just gonna create a new table. I had the statement here, copy someplace. Yep. With the exception of the description, that should be fixed. So I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna put the statement for creating the table. Did that. Right now, we're gonna connect. We're gonna store a couple of additional tasks. And now the GET request should work. Create a couple ones. GET request, and those should work. Let's store a different one. Let's say task to MySQL. Send, we save, we send, we save. Okay, task to MySQL. Okay, so far we have completed this read task in those two couple of web services, right? So before we continue, I want to take just a few seconds to just to tell you that if you are enjoying this video and taking some value from the video, please hit the like button and the subscribe if you want to continue seeing videos like this. Also share this video if you think about someone who can benefit from seeing this content. Just share the video and make sure to put any comment about questions that you have for this, or comments about this video or any other video that you want to see on the channel. Okay, so we get our read task web service. So now that we're reading and printing all the tasks, right? Let's gonna put it into the struct that we created for this, right? Okay, so the way that we do this, let's try to simplify this just because it's a little bit complex to do it this way. It works for all the cases, yes. But as we know which columns we're gonna be pulling from the result set, completed at, we can do this. Let me see if we can simplify this, right? It's gonna be next. So the scan argument is gonna be, let's define our variables here. ID, name, description, completed at, as an array of byte, right? And we're gonna be passing the pointers to this scan function so that he can populate those values for us, right? If everything goes well, let's just print this. Simplify this, you guys to see it a little bit better. Let's remove this for, call this ID. It's for the name, description, and the completed at. So we're gonna see a list of bytes there, right? Okay. So So let's save this and see if this actually works. So we can get rid of that complexity there, or at least make it a little bit more readable. So we store a couple tags there. So let's go to get. Let's get the get. And we're seeing here, right? Of course, we're seeing bytes. Let me go to the code. Right, this is name, description, and we just do this completed add, right? So what we have to do is we convert this into a string just because it's a byte. We encode it, decode it, string, right? Let's see if this works. Just go ahead and read this. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a similar thing that we were doing here with the task, right? Actually, we have to remove this from here. Gonna create a new variable here, new task. I'm gonna append this task here. So I'm gonna do new task dot name equal string name, right? Dot description, right? Also gonna be, oh, I had to get that array there, sorry. Just because otherwise I'm just gonna break everything. Oh, I need the new task here. I need this here, otherwise I'm gonna break that. I do need the list of tasks here. And empty list. And append this here. So okay, so I'm gonna also add a couple of new properties just to tell the system how this is gonna be serialized. Right, ID and completed. Let's follow the name convention here. Completed add. Completed add. Completed add. String for now. Everything's gonna be a string for now. Okay, so what we have here, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna also add the ID, right? And I'm also gonna add the completed add. Completed add. And I'm gonna return this task list here. I'm gonna replace this. It looks a little bit ugly for this. Error management, always proper error management. What else? What else? What else? Oh, we don't need this anymore. We don't need to print this anymore either. We don't need the column names. Okay, let's test to see if it works. At least runs, right? That's good news. We read, we have everything there. We have all the IDs, right? And we have everything that we want. Okay, so let's get the single one. Read the single task, right? Where we read the ID from our URL, right? So first of all, just being lazy and copy all this. Okay, I believe there is a query function here for query just one, query row. Yeah, that's what we're gonna use. So I'm just gonna copy all this, the connection part. We are copying and pasting a lot of code, I know. We will fix that later. Quick query row. At most one row. Query row always return a none. No value or rows are deferred until rows can match to skull. If the query selects no rows, the row scan will return. Alright, perfect. Okay, so the query row, you should take a list of arguments, right? That is gonna be the ID we're gonna send over there. See, the row, we have the query and arguments. We're going to context around query arguments. Of course, it should be one query. Okay, so probably we need the prepare statement. So this is what we need to do. We do the prepare first, which is gonna be the select with from task where ID equals question mark, right? This returns a query and an error. So if error, we just return preparing the query, right? Then with the query, we just do this, right? Let me see, query rows, statement, arguments. Okay, so this should be a slice. Okay, so this should be okay, so all right, so we just copy this part here for defining these variables. So what I need to do is can with the pointers description it's actually row singular. It's already defined here. Let's call this task ID. Here. No, it doesn't return an error. So for now, I'm just gonna do print right, get the in here print line and print the road. So I'm gonna do that first, right? I don't wanna do this. So let's see if this works. Let's first do the query, print the result, and see if that's working. So the get single request, just gonna make this query, right? Task ID not valid. It says row nil. Okay, let me see what I'm doing wrong. So first of all, I'm gonna print this task ID, right? See if we're getting it properly. Okay, maybe it's just because it's not a number. Okay, let's wait for it. So in order to test this, let me put the 2 here. Stop this. Run it. So we get the task ID properly, but the road still nil. So let me see, query road. So it gives a return query statement with a given argument. If an error occurs during execution, the error will be returned by a call to scan on the return road, which is always non-nil. If the query selects no roads, the road scan will return error no roads. Otherwise, the road scan. Okay, so the scan does return an error. If we want one road matches the query, scan uses the first road and score the rest. If no road matches, the query scan returns error. Okay. So this does return an error. So let me see what we do it here. We did the query, rows. So this is what I'm gonna do. Let me split this up. Let me split this to row. You're gonna print the row, and then row.scan is gonna return an error, right? So if error is not nil, print the error and the valid ID. Let's see. Close this, run it, test it. Task ID not found. We got the 3 and we got the nil value there. Okay, so we print the road, we have something in the road, and then we scan. We don't need this. If error, we print the error. Not a valid ID, I guess. And if everything goes well, let's see, data. Task, right? And we have to do this, pretty much this and this. So we do a scan, we don't have any errors, then we do this. Actually, new task. So basically we scan, we don't have any errors, and then we just, create a new task, we assign all the values, and then just return that task. So let's see if this actually works. So let's say that we create a new one, and then we get the get requests. We have a bunch of them, 9 now, and get single one, let's say 5. ID 5. Ooh, let's see. If we get the 1. Oh, we're always getting the same one. Retask. Oh, yep. Fixing the 2 here, of course, I'm gonna get the same one. So let's see if this is still working. We get number 3, 5, we get ID 5. All right, this is working. Moving on. So let's go to the update task request. So, all right, we copy and paste couple of these things. Task ID, error. That's gonna be an update, right? So just gonna copy and paste this. What I'm gonna copy the part for the create task, which binds the new task with a JSON, right? Let's see, update task, yep. I'm gonna bind from the JSON. Okay, first of all, yeah, it's an error. So if we get an error here, we start doing bad requests. So if error, different meal, from JSON, no. Missing task ID, right? We don't need to print this. We connect the close. Actually, before we connect, let's just validate that it is valid. We can do error. So we validate this, from JSON, right? New task. It's really clear, right? We have a new task here. Okay, so once we have the new task, we bind it, we connect. I don't think this is necessary. Okay, we don't need the old task. We're just gonna do a plain update on our database. So let's do that, right? We first do the prepare, or we just want to do the query directly. Okay, we can do the query directly, it's easier. Like we did into the insert here. Oh no, we need to do a prepare for the insert. Okay, so let's do the prepare. Prepare statement, right? So it is update task set. We're gonna update the name, the description, and the completed ad. Right, the values are gonna be 1, 2, and 3, and the ID there, right? We prepare the statement, we prepare the query. If we get an error, we're preparing the query, right? And then query. We execute the query with the arguments, which are gonna be new task dot name, new task dot description, and new task dot completed ad. Right. So as before, we have the result and we have an error. Right. Same thing, if we have an error, we're running the query. We don't need all this. We don't need all this. We just need the new task. Okay, task ID, right. Execute. Here. Okay, so validate the task ID, validate the binding, connection, prepare, execution. Looks solid. So we run this. Okay, get single, now put single. So right now we're doing a full update. So let's say that I want to include all this. again, it's a full update. Partial update, we can review it in a different video. So I'm gonna put here 2023 January 30 5. All right, so let's use this error preparing the query. See, no error, syntax error. So we got a syntax error. See, update task. Oh, maybe I got an error in MySQL. Let's do a review here. SQL update. So quick review. And then something around the table. All right, I'm thinking about insert. This is insert. So this is gonna be set name equals this, description equal this, complete that equal this, where ID is this. Getting rusty. Try that again. Run a query. Okay, we have an error in our datetime. So let's put in a space here. If we leave this open, let's see. Okay. All right, so we managed to update this. I think this is, let me see if I can add a time zone here. Oh yeah, updates it with a time zone. All right, so we got that here. We got the update going on. So let's finish with the delete, right? Okay, so we're gonna keep copying, pasting stuff. We validate first the ID, right? Just to make sure that that works. This, we're not gonna use any of this just because it's a complete different implementation. So we remove this from here. We connect and prepare the statement. This time it's gonna be delete from task where, if I'm not mistaken. Then execute the query, this whole block from here. Execute the query, just this time it's just gonna be task ID, right? Task deleted, right? So we shut down this, we run it, works. Let's delete that number 1. So first of all, let's check out what we have here. We have from 1 to 9, everything is completed there. If I delete 1, it says it is deleted. If I fetch everything, I get everything except the 1. If I do the 1 again, oh, we have an error message if the column is not found. It doesn't matter. I don't think that we need an error message for there. So we delete the 5, we delete the 2, delete the 3, let's delete the 7, and then when we get the database, we just have 9, 8, 6, and 4. All right, so I guess we completed all the web services, right? We need to probably rearrange some of this. It can definitely be a better put. We have a lot of duplication that can be solved with a couple of libraries, but we're gonna leave that for now to a different session, a different episode. So I'm going to put an ignore file here just to not to commit the .env file. Perfect. I'm going to commit this to the repo for you guys to have it. MySQL connection. And push this to main. Perfect. A little bit long, the video, but you know, we have it here. So remember, guys, remember to hit the like button. Put any comment there and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening to this whole episode. I hope this is useful for you. Thanks.